You need to stop what you're doing and check your pocket change right now, because some old wheat pennies could be worth a shocking amount of money. Most people spend these rare coins every single day without realizing they're holding hidden treasure in their hands. From tiny mint mark mistakes to ultra-rare dates, collectors are paying thousands, and sometimes even hundreds of thousands for the right penny. Today, we're counting down the top 3 most valuable wheat pennies that could completely change your life if you find one. Make sure you watch until the end, because the number 1 coin is so rare that even experienced collectors dream of finding it. Before you spend another penny, you need to see this. Coin number 1, 1946, D. Jefferson Nickel. The first coin on our list is the 1946 Jefferson Nickel with the D mint mark, a fascinating 5-cent coin that represents an important moment in American history. At first glance, this nickel may look like an ordinary coin that has been sitting in a collection for decades, but collectors know there is much more to the story. The year 1946 marked the first full year after World War II, and the United States Mint returned to producing Jefferson nickels using the traditional copper-nickel alloy that had been used before the war. During the war years, nickels were made with a special silver composition to conserve nickel metal for military equipment. But by 1946, the nation was entering a new era of peace and rebuilding. Because of this historical significance, many collectors consider the 1946 D. Jefferson nickel an important part of any nickel collection. The Denver Mint struck more than 45 million examples of this coin, making it fairly common in circulated grades, but exceptional examples can still command impressive prices today. When examining a 1946 D. Jefferson nickel, the first thing collectors look for is the small d mint mark located to the right of Monticello on the reverse side of the coin. This mint mark tells us the coin was produced at the Denver Mint. The design features a portrait of President Thomas Jefferson on the front and his famous Virginia home, Monticello, on the reverse. The coin was designed by Felix Schlag, whose artwork has become one of the most recognizable designs in American coinage history. Collectors often spend years searching for examples with strong details and attractive surfaces because condition plays a huge role in determining value. A heavily worn coin may only be worth a small premium over face value, while a sharply struck, uncirculated example can be worth many times more. One of the most exciting features collectors search for on the 1946 D. Jefferson nickel is something known as full steps. If you look closely at the steps leading up to Monticello, you may notice that on some coins the lines are weak or partially blended together. On rare, well-struck examples, all the steps are clearly visible and fully separated. These coins receive the coveted full steps designation from grading services and are highly sought after by collectors. Full steps nickels are considered superior examples because they demonstrate an exceptionally strong strike from the mint. Even though millions of 1946 D nickels were produced, only a small percentage display this desirable characteristic. As a result, collectors are often willing to pay substantial premiums for coins that meet the strict full steps requirements. Another reason collectors love the 1946 D. Jefferson nickel is its connection to the post-war era. Imagine the year 1946. Soldiers were returning home, industries were transitioning back to civilian production, and the country was beginning a period of economic growth. Every nickel struck that year became a small piece of American history. These coins passed through countless hands in grocery stores, restaurants, and businesses across the country. Some were saved in piggy banks, while others circulated for decades before being discovered by collectors. Holding one of these nickels today is like holding a small artifact from a transformative period in the nation's history. That historical connection adds an emotional appeal that goes beyond the coin's monetary value. Many beginning collectors assume that all old coins are automatically valuable, but the reality is more complicated. With the 1946 D. Jefferson nickel, condition is everything. Coins that spent decades in circulation often show scratches, wear, and discoloration. However, examples that were carefully preserved can still display their original mint luster. These uncirculated coins are much more desirable because they reveal the design exactly as it appeared when it left the mint. Professional grading services evaluate factors such as luster, strike quality, surface preservation, and eye appeal when assigning a grade. Higher grades generally translate into higher market values, making preservation extremely important. Collectors also enjoy searching for unusual varieties and minting errors within the 1946 D series. One of the most famous varieties is the D over inverted D mint mark variety. This occurred when a mint mark was punched incorrectly and then corrected, creating a visible repunched appearance. These varieties are much scarcer than normal issues and can attract strong interest from specialized collectors. Error and variety hunters spend countless hours examining nickels under magnification in hopes of finding one of these fascinating pieces. Discovering a genuine variety can transform an ordinary coin into a highly collectible treasure. As the decades passed, many 1946 D. Jefferson Nickels disappeared from circulation due to wear, loss, and damage. While the coin is not considered rare in lower grades, finding outstanding examples becomes increasingly difficult. This challenge keeps collector demand strong. Some enthusiasts focus on assembling complete Jefferson Nickel sets, while others specialize in full steps examples. Regardless of collecting style, the 1946 D remains an important date because it represents the beginning of the post-war Jefferson Nickel era. Today, collectors continue to search through old coin jars, estate collections, and inherited accumulations, hoping to uncover a beautiful 1946 D Jefferson Nickel. While most examples are modestly valued, exceptional specimens have sold for hundreds or even over $1,000 when certified in elite grades. The possibility of finding one of these premium examples keeps the excitement alive for coin hunters around the world. A simple 5-cent coin from 1946 may not look extraordinary at first glance, but its history, collectible varieties, and potential value make it a fascinating piece of American numismatic history. Coin number 2 on our list is the fascinating 1976 D. Jefferson Nickel, a coin that many people overlook because it seems so common. Millions of Americans have handled this 5-cent piece without ever realizing that certain examples can attract serious interest from collectors. At first glance, the 1976 D. Jefferson Nickel looks like an ordinary coin, but its connection to America's bicentennial era makes it a memorable piece of history. While special bicentennial designs appeared on quarters, half dollars, and dollars, the Jefferson Nickel retained its traditional appearance. Nevertheless, every 1976, D. Nickel was struck during the year Americans celebrated the 200th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. That historical connection alone makes these nickels fascinating collectibles for many enthusiasts. The obverse of the coin features President Thomas Jefferson, one of America's founding fathers, and the author of the Declaration of Independence. The portrait was designed by Felix Schlag and had already become familiar to generations of Americans by 1976. On the reverse side appears Jefferson's famous home, Monticello, located in Virginia. To the right of Monticello is the small D mint mark, indicating that the coin was struck at the Denver Mint. More than 563 million examples were produced there, making the 1976 D one of the more common dates in the Jefferson Nickel series. Despite the large mintage, collectors know that condition and strike quality make all the difference. During the bicentennial year, excitement spread across the country. Parades, celebrations, and patriotic events were taking place everywhere. The United States Mint was busy producing coins to meet the demands of commerce, and countless 1976 D. Nickels entered circulation. These coins traveled across America through grocery stores, gas stations, restaurants, and banks. Some ended up forgotten inside piggy banks or old dresser drawers, while others remained in circulation for decades. Because of this, many examples show heavy wear today, making pristine specimens increasingly desirable among collectors. One of the most important features collectors search for on a 1976 D. Jefferson Nickel is the full steps designation. If you examine the steps beneath Monticello carefully, you'll notice that many coins have weak or incomplete lines. Only the finest examples display all of the steps clearly and completely separated. professional grading services award these exceptional coins the coveted full steps designation. Since perfectly struck examples are difficult to find, collectors often pay significant premiums for coins that possess this characteristic. A full steps coin in gem condition can be worth dramatically more than an ordinary circulated example. Condition plays a crucial role in determining the value of a 1976 Jefferson Nickel. Coins that circulated heavily usually exhibit scratches, worn details, and dull surfaces. Such examples are generally worth only face value. However, coins that were carefully preserved may still possess brilliant mint luster and sharp details. These uncirculated examples are highly desirable, especially those graded mint state 65 or better. Professional grading companies evaluate each coin based on strike quality, surface preservation, luster, and overall eye appeal. The higher the grade, the greater the value collectors are willing to pay. Another exciting aspect of collecting 1976 Nickels involves searching for mint errors and varieties. Throughout history, mistakes occasionally occurred during the minting process, creating unusual coins that collectors love to discover. Off-center strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, doubled dies, and other errors can make an otherwise common coin surprisingly valuable. Some collectors spend countless hours searching through rolls of nickels obtained from banks, hoping to uncover one of these hidden treasures. Finding an error coin can turn an ordinary 5-cent piece into an exciting collectible. The Denver Mint itself has an important history. Established in Colorado during the Gold Rush era, the facility became one of the most productive mints in the United States. By 1976, the Denver Mint was striking hundreds of millions of coins annually. The small D mint mark found on this Jefferson nickel represents that long tradition of coin production. Every 1976, D nickel tells a story not only about the nation's bicentennial celebration, but also about the workers and machinery responsible for producing America's coinage. Many collectors enjoy assembling complete Jefferson nickel sets, and the 1976 D is an essential part of those collections. Although it is not considered a rare date, obtaining a perfect example can be surprisingly challenging. As the decades pass, fewer coins remain in pristine condition. Damage, wear, and improper storage have eliminated countless examples from collector consideration. This gradual decline in high-grade survivors adds another layer of interest to the series. Perhaps the greatest excitement comes from the possibility that valuable examples are still hiding in plain sight. Old piggy banks, inherited collection forgotten jars, and even pocket change may contain a beautiful 1976 Jefferson nickel waiting to be discovered. Most people overlook these coins because they appear so ordinary, but experienced collectors understand that extraordinary value often depends on condition, strike quality, and rare minting characteristics. That possibility continues to inspire treasure hunters around the world to examine every nickel they encounter, because sometimes a simple 5-cent coin can become a remarkable piece of American numismatic history. Coin number 3 on our list is the remarkable 1958 Jefferson Nickel, a coin that may look ordinary at first glance, but has become an exciting target for collectors who appreciate history, condition rarity, and the thrill of discovering hidden treasures. Struck at the Denver Mint, the 1958 Jefferson Nickel represents a fascinating period in American history when the United States was experiencing economic growth and entering the final years of the 1950s. Millions of these 5-cent coins entered circulation, passing through countless hands in grocery stores, gas stations, movie theaters, and restaurants. Although many examples remain common today, exceptional specimens with sharp details and outstanding surfaces can command impressive premiums among collectors. The obverse of the 1958 Jefferson Nickel features the familiar portrait of President Thomas Jefferson, designed by Felix Schlag. Jefferson was one of America's founding fathers and the principal author of the Declaration of Independence. His portrait had appeared on the nickel since 1938, replacing the buffalo nickel design. On the reverse side is Monticello, Jefferson's famous Virginia estate, with the small D mint mark appearing to the right of the building. This mint mark signifies that the coin was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the most productive mint facilities in the country. More than 168 million examples of the 1958 Jefferson nickel were produced, making it relatively common in circulated grades. Despite the high mintage, collectors know that rarity is often determined by condition rather than simply by how many coins were struck. Over the years, countless 1958 nickels suffered scratches, where discoloration and damage through decades of circulation. As a result, finding examples with full mint luster and minimal contact marks becomes increasingly difficult. Coins preserved in original mint sets or carefully stored collections are especially desirable because they retain the brilliance and sharp details they possessed when first struck. High-grade examples certified by professional grading companies often attract strong interest from advanced collectors seeking superior specimens. One of the most important characteristics collectors search for on a 1958 Jefferson nickel is the famous full steps designation. Looking closely beneath Monticello, you'll notice a series of horizontal lines representing the front steps of the building. On many coins, these lines are weak, interrupted, or partially blended together due to strike quality and die wear. However, on exceptional examples, all the steps are fully visible and sharply defined. These full steps nickels are much scarcer than ordinary examples and can command dramatically higher values. A coin with the full steps designation in gem mint state condition may be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on the grade and overall quality. The year 1958 itself holds a special place in American history. The nation was enjoying post-war prosperity, suburban neighborhoods were expanding, and television had become a major part of everyday life. Families gathered around black and white televisions, rock and roll music was becoming increasingly popular, and the space race was beginning to capture the imagination of millions. Every 1958 Jefferson nickel that entered circulation became a tiny witness to this remarkable era. These coins were used to purchase movie tickets, candy bars, soft drinks, and countless everyday items. Today, holding one of these nickels offers collectors a tangible connection to a bygone decade. Another exciting aspect of the 1958 Jefferson nickel involves mint errors and varieties. During the minting process, mistakes occasionally occurred that produced unusual and collectible coins. Die cracks, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and double die varieties are among the most sought-after minting errors. While such errors are relatively rare, they add excitement to the hobby because collectors never know when they might discover something extraordinary. Roll searchers frequently examine old nickels under magnification, hoping to uncover one of these hidden treasures. A seemingly ordinary coin can become highly valuable if it displays a significant minting error. Professional grading has become increasingly important in determining the value of a 1958 Jefferson nickel. Grading companies carefully examine factors such as strike quality, surface preservation, luster, and eye appeal. Coins receiving grades of MS-65, MS-66, or higher are much scarcer than lower-grade examples. Top population coins with full steps designations have achieved remarkable auction results over the years. The combination of rarity, quality, and collector demand makes these premium examples especially desirable. This explains why many collectors carefully inspect every 1958 nickel they encounter, hoping to find a hidden gem. Collectors assembling complete Jefferson nickel sets consider the 1958 an important issue. While circulated examples are easy to find, locating sharply struck specimens with minimal imperfections is considerably more difficult. Some enthusiasts spend years upgrading their collections in search of better examples. Others specialize exclusively in full steps nickels, pursuing the finest known specimens. The challenge of finding these superior coins keeps the Jefferson Nickel series exciting for collectors of all experience levels. Today, many 1958 Jefferson nickels remain hidden inside old jars, inherited collections, and forgotten coin albums. Most people overlook these coins because they appear ordinary, but knowledgeable collectors understand that condition and strike quality make all the difference. A beautiful, uncirculated example, with full steps, can be worth far more than 5 cents. This possibility continues to inspire coin hunters across the world to search through pocket change and old collections. Sometimes a simple nickel from 1958 turns out to be a remarkable piece of American numismatic history and a treasure hiding in plain sight. Before we reveal the next coin, remember that valuable treasures are often hiding where people least expect them. One extraordinary Jefferson nickel could still be waiting inside your collection, an old piggy bank, or even your pocket change. That's why collectors never stop searching, because every coin tells a story, and sometimes that story is worth much more than 5 cents.